Alright, welcome back to Three Swords Gaming. So, we are continuing through Arknights Endfield as far as the main story goes, and we are pursuing Ardashir into the, what is it, Marker Stone, right? Is that what it's called? Reasonably confident that's what it's called. Marker Stone, yes. So, we have made it this far with the help of Arcane, which we don't see here because we're currently in the open world portion, and she's been accompanying us through the instanced portions. But we have Arcane along with us,
hands, stay alert for
and
orders.
into the main facility of the Marker Stone we go.
I was spacing out. Please pardon my lapse.
This is something they specifically do for this region, like the... and this is supposed to be associated, I believe, with Ardashir. Yeah, I see it, Chan. With Ardashir's, like, magic and his fire is this, like, kind of blue, sparkly stuff coming up from the ground. It's aesthetically, it's really cool. I quite like it. Alright, more gear templates acquired. Let's go.
There's a Farinmut proxy in the HAS. What power does she wield?
We call it the Scroll, but it's just one of her many powers we know.
Okay, and this is this like weird, inky, smoky aesthetic that we have here is associated with the scroll, right? So we will be seeing quite a bit more of this actually, and I like it. It's really cool. I think what we're meant to like perceive here, or what it's meant to kind of feel like, is ink blots on paper, right? And ink blots that are kind of affected by water a little bit as you see them kind of spreading out like that. Really cool aesthetic. I quite enjoy it.
It's Ardashir!
I suppose those fragile traces of the arts slowed you down, Endman. How pitiful. You are but a weakened shadow. Why then do you still cradle the fate of Terra?
That to me is fairly interesting. Essentially, to kind of translate that, like, why do you continue to bear this responsibility? Why do you take this on when you don't, at least from Ardashir's perspective, have the ability to do what is needed to be done for that responsibility?
Target locked.
I shall destroy this marker stone. Freed from the Shiranite Dam's suppressive forces, the very large rift shall reveal the entirety of the ether side.
Wonder what that means. What is something transiting from the ether side, or is the ether side? You know, does Talos 2 become the ether side? Like, what does that mean?
But it is not yet too late, Endman. Either stop me at the top, or take everyone and flee.
Target lost. Teleportation arts again.
What's at the top of the marker stone? Which is where he said, right? He said, stop me at the top.
A Farinmut's heart. He might have taken out the other hearts.
Then how are we supposed to catch up? I don't see any way to get up there nearby.
No. I see a passage right before us. Just put the Sheeran Core Jades back in their place to reopen the channel.
Oh, good thinking, Shen.
Seems you have not forgotten. Located at two sides of the place.
Enman, give me a hand.
Okay. Alright, Shen. So this is the mechanic. This is essentially the thing that's going to keep us busy as we transit through this playable area, is recovering these things, and then they can be united, and that facilitates like a portal of sorts, as you see there through that little graphic, that allows us to move through this facility.
Phantoms here? But if they're ether-based, why won't the Marker Stone keep them out?
Careful. Ardashir has already destabilized the marker stone.
Take them out, here's our chance. Ready to strike. Crystallize.
In position.
Raise your hand. Need to return 2 pieces of Sheeran Core Jade. They form the core of the Farenmut's heart. Restart the heart, and we'll have a way to chase Ardashir down.
Okie dokie. If I run through that fire, does it do damage to me? Nope. Alright, good thing. I honestly hadn't played with that at all on my first playthrough. I just naturally like avoided those things. So...
Creating fire with ether energy. As if wielding Orignium arts. Endman, your call. Next target. On the double.
On the double. Let's go. Get out of the way, Perlica. Got no time for you standing in our way. So we just saw something there that actually, like, I kind of get annoyed with. When you pass certain things, like the big bell in the middle of Wuling City, or like this thing right here, it pulls your focus out automatically so that you can take it in, which is cool. Like, that's very, very impressive in terms of, like, the design of the asset and, you know, aesthetically, like, super cool and stuff. But I don't love having my focus forcibly pulled, like the perspective forcibly changed. I don't actually, it doesn't feel good for me. I would rather that didn't happen. It may be a feature that I can turn off. I haven't looked into it.
This should restart the Farenmut's heart. Time to
Yay.
confirm it.
That's how it works. The scroll opens up the channel. How interesting.
Perlica's already thinking of, like, new technologies for Enfield to put into use.
Ardashir better have some tricks. Even if he were to breach the marker stone, moving around won't be easy. But
what?
But he is intentionally sabotaging the Farenmut's heart, and seems to know the Marker Stone really well.
Let's not speculate. Capture him, and we'll have our answers.
I mean, I'm gonna diverge from you a little bit here, Perlica. We might want to have a better understanding of what he's doing before we charge ahead and capture him.
make ready.
But I guess everyone agrees with Perlica, so okay. In we go. Ooh, that was a weird view for a minute. We got like the inner boob view. Not something I was expecting.
Whenever I sense Farinmut power, I can't help but feel awed by it. Huh? Isn't this supposed to take us to the top? What floor are we on?
The middle. Look, the Farinmut's heart has been damaged. The original path has been severed.
He does know the structure of the marker stone.
So it would seem.
Is there something in the scroll? Wow!
So these butterflies are kind of their mechanic for communicating that the scroll has some degree of sentience.
Did you make these?
No, they're her ink spirits. Messengers of the Farinmut proxy.
Sentience, I suppose, is associated with the proxy, not the scroll itself.
Are they flying away?
What did she say?
She sensed the intrusion and is helping us to locate the Shirankor Jades. And she complained. A lot.
Is she monitoring everything at every moment?
Their abilities cannot be measured by mortal means. The marker stone is also one of a kind. She'd naturally sense things that happen to it. But her physical form is too far away to reach Wuling on time. At least she's still helping us in her own way. I can sense the ink spirit's locations. Follow me.
So in the Guild Wars 2 story, I have complained a lot about them power creeping the story on a patch-by-patch basis. And you get that feeling from a world that is, like,
Where should we go next?
uneven in what is happening. So, like, the most powerful thing in the world is replaced by the new most powerful thing in the world, and then there's a new most powerful thing in the world. And one of the ways you can avoid that feeling is by always having things of extraordinary power within your world from the beginning. They may not be accessible to you early in the story. You may not see them. They may be things of legend, but they're always there in the background, which sets a baseline for what the, for lack of a better term, the power level of the world is. Like, what the most powerful thing in the world looks like compared to where you are at during your playthrough, or whatever the case may be. What the adversary is, whatever. And so we get a little bit of that here, where we get that the Farinmut proxy is significantly more powerful than we are currently, or that anything that we're dealing with is right now. But she simply is inaccessible.
Keep coming.
Ignore them. Speed is of the essence.
Should we ignore them? I mean, I guess. We're not ignoring this, though. And so you get this, instead of sensationalism that would then be replaced by sensationalism the next time, we get kind of are having a construct built of some of the powers that are in the world, making...
A blade unsheathed, its light unleashed.
So later, when we're exposed to that power, it's already been established in canon that it exists.
Exemplary call.
And I much prefer that. It doesn't mean that we're not going to still feel like the world just gets crazier and crazier as we advance. On the contrary, that is probably inevitable in any live service game, whether it's an MMO or a gacha game or whatever. But at least the the framework for it has been established now.
YSPF does have a special link with the Fairmont. This is my first time seeing someone proficiently wielding Fairmont power.
Years ago, people like us were called ritualists, or priests. But now, we're a blade that HAS plunged into Talos too.
Such a dramatic way of saying that, Arcane. You could have just said we were called ritualists or priests and now we're more of a military force, but no. A blade. A cross that we don't call a cross and instead call a sword.
Wait, that's
A dichromolite. A switch for controlling Sirenite blocks.
Dichromolite. So what does that mean? Di as in two opposing things, chromo as in color, and light as in I have no idea. Light? I don't know what light is in terms of the roots of this word. But yeah, two opposing colors.
the jet drone can definitely activate the dichromolite.
That is true.
Changing the dichromolite's rune will also change the Shirenite blocks.
Sure will. Right, so this is a little mechanic that they're going to introduce for this area. You spray it. It switches. It switches. Maybe we gotta spray the red side. Yeah, we do.
So, Arcane, since you're a task leader, did you get to see the proxy herself?
Yes.
So, is she what we imagined her to be back then?
Steer away from idle chatter during missions.
Dang, Arcane. Always such a hard ass. So what I like about the dichromolite is it's not exclusively like a push button and thing happens. In this case, it was push button and thing happens. Push button and path appears and we walk across path. But later we will see it employed for puzzles. And I appreciate that it isn't, that they didn't just fall back on, because that's really just, that's mechanical padding of a story, right? Oh, we're going to pull you out of the story and make you push a button and then put you back into the story. And that doesn't necessarily feel good. But if they make it gameplay of some sort, in this case a puzzle, then it's a little bit more satisfying, right?
Must have teleported them here.
Good news. He's really cute.
That move of yours was incredible!
Verify and report personal status, team.
Nicely done.
What are you yelling about, Shen? There's nothing over here. So I wonder if outside the story instance, there's like a chest here. And the coding is such that Shen identifies the chest that we can't access because we're still in the story. I have no idea, but that's my speculation for that. Or she was identifying this chest through the wall. Also a possibility. Actually, probably the more likely scenario. I doubt I have the necessary blueprints to actually fix this. Oh, I do. What do you know? Okay, this looks awful. Oh, that definitely does not go there. That doesn't... That makes the most sense. That also makes more sense. Yeah, go to... Oh, there's a second one. I don't remember how this goes. I take much longer... No, it's definitely not there. Pretty soon it's going to give me a hint because I suck. Alright, well, we just barely beat the hint.
Jade! It's really here!
Ardashir completely destroyed this place.
Because the Shirenite stockpile is just nearby. Shirenite is designed to fill the rift and neutralize the ether. They literally cancel each other out. But he managed to start this fire in the Marker Stone. Did it really come from the other side of the rift?
The Blight has various shapes and forms, so it is natural for ether to behave the same. This fire is just one type of ether energy, but I've never heard of anyone who could wield ether like Originium Arts.
Is he really human?
I mean, the answer to that's an interesting... So that's an interesting question at two levels, right? One, I mean, he's probably not human, right? Like a majority of the folks in, you know, the various characters and stuff in the game are not human. They're a variety of different things, right? And I think lore-wise, it all goes back to the idea that there was a like a progenitor race that then created all these sub-races through, you know, science. It's like core Arknights lore. The other thing is, like, no, he's clearly not like the rest of them. He is something different anyway. So that is also of note, right? I think this might be a tiny bit of a mistranslation or just like poor wording. And really, like, is he really like us? And the answer is, well, no. I think that's probably a better interpretation of this particular phrasing.
We should retrieve the Shirencore Jade first. No matter what, this fire must not spread beyond the Marker Stone. Even if extreme measures must be taken.
One moment, I got a thing that just popped up.
Lee. The Shirenite blocks have been broken apart.
Oh no.
Enman, use the dichromolite to create a new path.
Okie dokie. Let's see. We gotta remember it. Yeah, it's right behind us. And so I think we're starting to get into more the puzzle type usage of the dichromolite, because you can see, like, it only gives us this one path. Now, I don't know if at this point it's a puzzle. I think we got one more before we start encountering, like, the puzzleness of it. Here, it's pretty much like just do them in the sequence, if I remember correctly, but we'll see. No, we cannot get over there. I was looking at that chest over there thinking, hey, like, that would be great to go get another chest, but... Oh, good. And also this... Okay, I don't remember if we take the jumpy thing here. Where does it go? Oh. Exciting. Okay. Oh, Hey, no, don't. Okay, I'm an idiot. What I was trying to get to.
Are we
What's that?
collecting this?
Yeah, we're collecting it.
Understood. I'll keep an eye out.
Yeah, please do that, Ember. Thank you. See, so I think it just put it back the way it was, but now we're on the other side, which this giant block here obstructed for us the first time, right? If we jump down there, can we get back up here? I'm not actually 100% certain we can. We will save that for when we're exploring. Alright. So presumably that jumpy thing would just get us to this other side in this current configuration. So I guess while it seemed unimpressive at that moment in time, now it would be more useful if we were on the other side somehow, though I don't know how we would get to the other side with it in its current configuration. Doesn't matter. We got places to go.
The vote is out.
Clear the way. This calls for an unconventional solution.
The Proxy's ink spirit?
So, Arcane, my kind of girl. There's a door in front of us, and we don't seem to be able to open it. Let's blow it up. But apparently, the Proxy has other plans.
Borrow your powers. All right. I know what you're trying to do.
Did you just move those Shirenite blocks?
The Proxy strengthened my control over the Marker Stone. The final battle awaits.
I really like Arcane. Lots of fun. And I like her, like, as a character, I kind of enjoy, like, her standoffishness as well. Kind of fun, too. I really look forward. I kind of have a sneaking suspicion that we're not going to even see her in 1.3.
What's going on?
Oh, no.
He's almost done. The marker stone is on the brink of collapse.
I can find the correct path. Stay close.
I'm kind of afraid it's going to be like 1.4 later before we see Arcane. But when you see a character that you really want and you're confident, because I am confident at some point she will be available. Just like I'm confident that at some point Lycia will be available. So I'm going to sit on pulls. And wait, now I think Lycia is going to be a long ways away. Oh no.
Sure this is the right way?
That is pretty cool, by the way.
Into the bright light?
Correct. Now jump.
Are you sure, though? Oh, I can see baddies down there. Arcane, I see baddies.
Where are we?
Oh, are they going to leave us alone? I guess they're going to leave us alone. Or they're not. This door's going to slam shut on us. I don't remember how this goes. Oh, we get a bunch of them here. Okay.
Even managed to set an ambush here. Keep the Endmen safe.
Keep me safe, guys.
In position.
Oh, all their keeping me safe does no good if I don't dodge properly. I really let you guys down. I'm really sorry about that.
Here's our jaunt.
Much better now.
So they're really so glassy that if you just run away from them, your teammates will more or less crush them. But probably not the most time-efficient way of handling it, I suppose.
Good work, everyone.
Over here.
I sense it. It's up ahead.
It's interesting how close they put some of these, particularly those two. Like, where was the other one? It's like right up here at the top of the stairs. Oh, well, we fell through a hole, I guess. It was above the hole. And definitely on my first playthrough, that was very confusing to me that they had the waypoints or whatever so close to each other. I think there's a couple reasons.
Everyone is resting.
One, it gives us a chance for that rest that we just took before we advance. And actually, like, knowing that at some point there are going to be more difficult things, we could also, if we were running lower on our Jinko drinks here, which truthfully we're fine, but like we could stock up on those. But then also,
It's the Sharon Court Jade.
yay, Sharon Core Jade. Also, as an explorable area, those become more useful because they're technically on different floors.
It's within reach. But he's not going to make things easy for us.
Clearly not. You have a giant gun. I guess you have limited ammo, right? I guess we'll use my sword. I am here, Ardashir.
Ardashir.
No need to rush. You are indeed a threat to my plans. Toxic influence in Arknights, just a scroll from 1,000 miles away. Proved to be quite variable. Such is the power of singing. Endman, I have underestimated your companions. Combat seems inevitable between us.
So Ardashir,
I will not let you be harmed.
and by the way, I assume we take that at face value.
To which you belong.
I think we should take that at face value as well.
Don't let him distract you. Find the Sharon Court Jade first.
Yeah, so there was actually quite a bit of, and I know there's a way to go back and look at the dialogue again. I can't remember what it is. Is it like one of the things up here? No, it's not. I don't remember how to do it. Oh, it's probably this right here. Nope, that's journal. Is it in here? Nope. I don't remember what it is. There is a way to do it. Anyway, Ardashir has had opportunities to harm us before. Remember, we didn't know who he was. We met him out in the woods, and he hung out with us and never was a problem. Like, if just killing us was his goal, we'd probably be dead. So I think we can take that at face value. And it is clear that he has some intention of trying to persuade us of something. So something like showing us where we belong also jives with what his goals appear to be, right? So I think we can take most of that at face value. He mentions that our friends proved, you know, stronger than he was expecting, or, you know, more formidable adversaries than he was expecting, and of course that's kind of interesting because it's like, well, that's a variable he hadn't planned for, I think is what he said. That in of itself is not interesting to me. It's the other variable that he seems to have not planned for, which is the proxy.
We fought with both courage and prudence. Excellent work, everyone.
He makes a reference to that, and because he phrases it differently, he doesn't say it's something I hadn't reckoned on or I hadn't prepared for or whatever. But I think that also is something that he hadn't prepared for. And as we continue forward in this portion of the story, I think it's one of the more relevant dynamics is that the proxy's involvement from so far away is of significance. We're in oh, there we go. Okay, cool.
Through strong teamwork. A definitive outcome achieved through strong teamwork.
What, are you okay, Perlica? Are you having a stroke?
Excellent work, everyone.
We are united as one. Good work, everyone.
Nicely done.
So I actually didn't notice this on my first playthrough because I just charged into battle and fought and fought and fought. I don't know what's damaging these guys when we are not engaging them. I don't know if that's meant to be perceived as like Arcane's big gun, which I made a joke about a minute ago, like why don't you use your big gun? Maybe that we're meant to perceive that that's exactly what that is. I just noticed that on those last couple fights.
Job done. That should restart the Farenmut's heart.
Good job, Chen. Look, Perlica approves. That is the Perlica face of approval.
Yes. When we step through the scroll, we might be facing Ardashir himself.
Well, let's do it.
Endman, for our next course of action.
Sure, I'm all ears. Ironically, I have the smallest ears of the group. Look, she's got like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4. Which of these, and then does she have like normal human ears too? What are your ears, Arcane? I'm all ears.
If you need me for something dangerous, do not hesitate. I am your trump card. You just need to play the card to stay out of the fight. From the intel you shared, you have yet to reach your optimal form after your awakening.
I mean, that is true. That seems to be a well-known fact at this point, right?
If Ardashir is treating you as a target, he has absolute confidence in facing you in your current state. Furthermore, he seems to know you very well.
He does. That's the undercurrent to this entire story arc, right? Everything with Ardashir very, very strongly suggests, to the point where I treat it as fact, he knows us from before. And we don't remember.
That's just nonsense.
There are merits to it. The Administrator was once a symbol that meant different things to different people, enemies included.
I'm not convinced Ardashir was an enemy before.
But he knows nothing about me.
I also know nothing about you, but I would like to get to know more, Arcane. If only you were on the banner, but you're not. I really am actually surprised. I wonder. Here's a theory. It is surprising that Zhuangfang Yi is the only banner during this patch. And people chalk it up to like, oh, well, they want every player that wants her to be able to get her, and they don't want players to do resource management, and we know that we're probably going to have to do resource management on the next patch, etc., etc. But I'm also wondering if it was supposed to be Zhuangfang Yi and Arcane, and there was something that kept Arcane from shipping. Because that would have made a ton of sense. Now, Mifu coming out by now also would have made a ton of sense. And if Mifu's ready to ship, then they could have just rotated Mifu in. So maybe they just wanted everyone to get Zhuangfang Yi. But it is surprising, because we've already got some foreshadowing of what the next banner might be. And while I'm not a believer in rando people on YouTube doing quote-unquote leak videos and treating that like gospel, there are pretty strong indications that Mifu has to come out at some point in the near future, and they've also shown like silhouettes and stuff that that there's a male character coming out. When's Arcane coming out? It would have made sense for her to be in this patch.
If the proxy's tricks can hamper his plans, then I, having borrowed the proxy's power, will pose a threat to him.
I do assume Arcane will come out before Lycia. I definitely work off that assumption.
I alone shall suffice.
What are you saying, Arcane?
After all, Your personal safety is also my most important mission.
What are the chances of success?
Not too bad.
And for extraction?
Not too good either.
Wow. Well, that's pretty vague, Arcane.
Ugh, Lee! You're still so hung up about sacrificing this and that for the sake of battle?
Alright, so Chen, who is not a rocket surgeon, actually does us a tremendous favor here by kind of interpreting what Arcane is saying, which is that she's kind of willing to sacrifice herself in the interest of the mission and so forth, and that's admirable. But is it necessary? And that's the question that Chen is asking here, right? Basically what Chen's saying is we're Team USA, we don't do suicide bombings, right?
Then why would Tian Shuzhuang send me here alone?
I mean, maybe she just thought the four of us, how many of us are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe she thought the 4 of us was enough, Arcane. Like, that might also be it.
She knows what I'm capable of, and believes I can do it. Endman, I hope you can give me your word.
Alright, so essentially we have two ways of saying the same thing. We can be kind of direct to the point and say, hey, like we're not there yet, like calm down. Or we can say, hey, as a reminder, like she didn't actually send you alone, right? This one's a little more subtle, but I think still gets the job done. We'll go with that.
Your safety is worth more than my life.
Ooh. Okay, well, but, I think we have options.
Really? I don't want you to go into a fight expecting to get yourself killed.
Yeah, no, that's good, Administrator. That's good.
But I also trust in your judgment.
So, is Administrator, just a real team player, or is she kind of naive? Like, maybe the jury's still out on that a little bit?
Just let us face the enemy together as a team. I don't want to have any regrets this time.
So, it's funny, this is very much, I'm going to chalk this up to localization, though I could be wrong. She said, I don't want to have any regrets this time, versus, I don't want to have any regrets this time. And I think for almost anyone, if not everyone, outside the United States, it would be difficult to tell the difference. But by putting the emphasis on this, and it doesn't even make sense in terms of grammar. It's completely connotative. By saying, I don't want to have any regrets this time, it implies that you're willing to accept regrets next time. It implies a future, which again, grammatically does not necessarily make sense. I think what they mean to imply here, and if you take the emphasis off of this, if you say, I don't want to have any regrets this time, if you put the emphasis on regrets instead of this, tonally, then it implies regrets in the past. There's something about the way American English works. If you put the emphasis on the word this, it implies that you're willing to accept regrets in the future. It's a very weird, goofy, nuanced thing that doesn't make any sense in terms of the function of the English language. And I think when the voice actor put emphasis on this, it might be a tiny bit of a mistake because it implies something very, very weird that doesn't make sense in the context of the story or anything. Because I think we really need to believe that what she's actually saying is, in the past I've had regrets and I don't want to have regrets this time. And so even as I said it just now, I de-emphasized this.
Is that in order?
Yep.
Yes.
Understood.
Really? Well, I hope you're not doing anything crazy again.
I wonder if there's a backstory again. Do we just get the idea that that was part of her personality that rubbed Chen the wrong way when they were students together, or is there a whole backstory that we're gonna get? So, because Arcane's already in this story and not a playable character yet, I'm assuming when we finally get Arcane, kind of the way Rossi was, where she was in the story before you could pull for her, I assume we're gonna get a character story for Arcane when she becomes available. And so maybe it will, be tied to that.
If such is the Endman's order, I will not question it.
Good. You work for me. That is the I don't believe you face from Edmund.
Don't worry, we'll definitely stop Ardashir. He better not escape this time.
So
There's
confident,
no escape
Shen.
for him.
No escape. So we're all on the same page. No escape for Ardashir. Where did that orb... I missed it. It goes low and then high. Alright, we got it. I feel so much better about my... Oh, and look. So the chest, the ore barrel in the chest really adds up. Individually, each chest is like an insignificant amount, but... like, if you get 10 chests, depending on the chest, you start getting close to like one pull. Which is still only one pull, but I will take pulls. Alright, here we go. Immersion mode, my favorite mode. So I'm under the impression a lot of people don't actually like immersion mode. Not so much because they don't like being Endman. I love being Endman. I'm always Endman on this count. But because it does a lot of... it slows you down. It slows your gameplay down.
What is this place?
Perlica? Chen? Arcane?
What's wrong with that Farinmut's heart?
So this portion of the story, I really quite enjoy. Even if you don't like the immersion mode, because it sometimes slows down. And even now, we can see it's slowing down Endman. It is, like, really cool.
Your memories are gone. What of the duty you've always upheld? Is it truly a choice of yours? Or something forced upon you?
Whoa.
You're trapped by a meaningless duty that was never yours. A path already proven to end in utter defeat.
I mean, should I wait right here, Perlica? I'm waiting right here because I'm really intrigued by what Ardashir says there. I get intrigued by Ardashir a lot. I guess the whole, like, people complain about, like, the quote-unquote vague maxing from Ardashir. But I actually think he says a lot of things that are very interesting. I just think, clearly, they still leave some ambiguity as it relates to the story. And here's one of them, like... There's an implication from Ardashir in what he just said that there's a sense of futility. I don't think he's saying that because he's our adversary, but rather simply because he knows we are fighting a fight that cannot be won, at least from his perspective. Again, not the perspective of an adversary, but the perspective of an observer. You are trying to do a thing that cannot be done. And I find that very intriguing in context to all of our engagement with Ardashir.
Finally quiet. Now, it's just you and me. Come, Endman.
Once again, this engagement also has me asking myself what it would be like if I had chosen male Endman. And to be clear, I've said this numerous times. I've asked this question numerous times. Oh, how would this story sequence feel different? Because it won't play out different. The dialogue will be the same, and the interactions will be the same. But just as Gilberta's personal story, or her character story, had such a significant romantic undertone to it, and I thought, oh man, if I were male Endman, like, this would feel so different. This interaction with Ardashir, now that we're female Endman, feels differently than if we were male Endmen. Like, not that I don't feel any romantic undertone here, but I do feel like a certain, like, maybe, I don't know. You'll see it as it plays out. I just wonder how this would feel different if you were to flip the genders of Endmen, which of course you can do, but we're not going to do because I want continuity through the playthrough.
Here, we keep nothing from each other.
I guess what I'm saying is, like, you can be best friends with someone, and if you're the same gender, that is different than being opposite genders. Even if it is purely a friendship, best friends... Okay. Best friends still means something different.
Ardashir, Ephidia, and a traveler. You should have directed that question to yourself. You carry the future of Terra and Talos too, yet no one cares about your sacrifice. But I witnessed your disappointment and despair multiple times.
So there's a lot there. I don't know what Fidia is supposed to be, and I haven't done any research on that. I'm not going to speculate at this point. Like, maybe later I'll circle back around and look at it. But a traveler, and he's mentioned that several times. He's identified himself to us as a traveler. That was how he identified himself when we first met him. So there's continuity there. There's consistency. It doesn't feel like a lie he made up on the spot. That is part of his identity, right? But then I have witnessed your despair multiple times. Like, that is the very, very strongest indication thus far that, like, we have a very intimate, not in the sexual sense, but in the an intimate knowledge of someone. We have a very intimate relationship with Ardashir that we simply don't know. So when she says, "Who are you?" and he says, "You should have directed that question at yourself." Yeah.
Who are they?
No fear. They're safe. Companions are exceptional. Still, after so many years, so many awakenings, barely a few stayed true to you till the end.
You know my past?
We last met 10 years ago, when I learned of your reawakening. I left Yursh to look upon your expedition from afar. But it was yet another tragedy. Your wounds from betrayal were grievous. Over a century of futile labor, numerous lives at stake. Will this game ever end?
A lot there. A lot there. Grievous wounds of betrayal. Like, I don't want to say we deserve a backstory there, but we kind of deserve a backstory there, right? What was that betrayal? Keep in mind, within Endfield at least, we don't know anything about the Administrator's past. Because it's the player character, the player has amnesia, because of course they do, and so who knows, and it gives them the opportunity to tell that story later, so it's understandable from a game development point of view, but now that it's foisted upon us that there was this terrible betrayal, and this is all, of course, assuming that we trust Ardashir as a narrator at this point. My proposal, what I'm saying is we have no reason not to. I would argue Ardashir has never lied to us up until this point. And I think that's important in how we perceive that character.
Come back to us. Do not continue down the road of despair.
By far the most loaded thing that he said yet. So we get a ton in this little road that we walk up, this little spiral, where we start out way down yonder and we come all the way up. We get a lot. And yet none of it really makes sense in context because there's so much that we don't know. We don't know Endman's past, and we don't know enough about who Ardashir is, so none of it makes sense, and I think that's why some players are frustrated with it. I prefer to treat it as little pieces of a puzzle. Like, thank you, you've given me like 4 more pieces of the 500-piece puzzle. And I'm not really angry that I have to get them a few pieces at a time because that's part of the playing experience for me. But it does make me want more of the pieces. And we'll see, how they come to us. But everything about this sequence that we just got continues to reinforce for me that I don't believe Ardashir is actually an adversary. In the, I want to kill you sense.
This is my first time here as well.
This place. I saw it in a dream.
My personal belief, we should perceive that as memory, right? Because we've already seen that Enmin confronts some of her hidden memories that she doesn't fully understand in the form of dreams, right? Whether it's metaphorical or literal.
The power of Fairn Matsui is remarkable. I am honored to witness your dream, Endman.
Another thing I think we should take at face value. I believe that he is honored to witness our dream.
What do you want?
I said it many times. A proper conversation with you.
When talking about what he wants, I think he said something more significant than just conversation a minute ago when he said, come back to us. Us in that sense, within the construct of that the context of that whole conversation is the inclusive us. You say that to someone who belongs to the same group as you. When you say come back to us, you're saying come back to the group that you belong to. Implying that our origin and Ardashir's origin in some way is linked.
About what?
I do not know. Perhaps I should talk about myself again. Did I tell you about my home in Yersh? I lived by a cliff, where I could gaze upon a valley completely covered in snow. It was a place that delighted me. The valley was filled with shiny headstones. They were like barnacles. They died for me. The wind and snow hosted their funerary rites.
Is that the place we've seen? Remember, during the very, very initial sequence of the game, really almost like preceding the tutorial, we are in such a place, right? We read some of the headstones. And there was the implication at that time that those were characters from the first game, or at least I perceived it as those were characters from the first game. While simultaneously perceiving it as part of Enmin's past as well, like people that Enmin had known before various sleeps or whatever. And I also viewed that as tied to the Reconveners. And now Ardashir, and I think the player's meant to immediately recognize this, is talking about the same place as a place that he recognizes as home. And I think that's supposed to be Enmin coming to the same realization. So, like, this is not a subtle thing. This should be a very clear thing to the player.
Oh, yes. I had another home on the other side of the Cosmic Gate. Place of gold and windswept sands.
So, I don't know which is which. I don't know if Kirsch... I believe Kirsch is on Talos 2. Am I wrong about that? And if so, then this would be... Now he's talking about Terra. Or Kirsch was on Terra, and now he's talking about a place on Talos 2. But I think it's the former. I think Kirsch is on Terra, and he is now talking about Terra. Or Kirsch is on Talos 2, and he's now talking about Terra.
Beyond the gate, they called me Pasha.
So, am I mistaken that is a term that implies that he was some kind of leader on the other side. I don't recall what Pasha means. I don't even recall what culture, if it's like some Middle Eastern culture, right, uses the term Pasha, but I don't remember exactly what it means. And that would align thematically, because of course this is not Earth, and so any place can be anything, but that would align thematically with a place of sun and sand.
Felt like a lifetime ago. That arrogant empire is probably broken to pieces.
So he doesn't know. He doesn't know what happened to that empire. He left it and has never seen fit to find out. Or cannot, because even as powerful as he is, eons old, maybe even, as was suggested. If the Cosmic Gate, I called it a Stargate earlier, if the Cosmic Gate is closed, it's still closed. He can't return to Terra, right?
Wait, the other side of the Cosmic Gate? Have you lived for more than 100 years?
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty well established, I mean.
Yes. So, you're finally interested in me. But life is fair. I only perform the despicable theft of lives from those I held dear for the cruel torture of my own longevity.
And now you threaten even more innocent lives.
Remember the choices I gave you?
Choices?
Bring the Wulingers and leave. My aim is just to open the very large rift.
For what?
To find the exiles in the ether side.
So if there's a moment in the 1.2 story where we get like the big whammy of exposition, where we get the big reveal from a story perspective, this is it, right? Ardashir plainly states his intentions, and while we don't necessarily get clarity on what that means, that's it right there on the screen. Ardashir's intention is to find the exiles in the ether side. And I seem to recall some core Endfield lore that, and it's given to us through like a cutscene or like a little cinematic sequence or whatever. When we're on Dijon and we have like a series of visions and Perlica's like explaining some stuff or whatever, that during a previous conflict on Talos 2 that Enman was involved in, they cast away some folks, and so I perceive that as being directly tied to the exiles. The exiles are the folks who were cast away, but I do not try to masquerade as an expert on Arknights lore. I have not played nearly enough of the first game, and I only know what you know about Endfield, so I'm not in a position to say that conclusively. I'm not saying it authoritatively. I'm not trying to. That is my theory, and I feel pretty good about it. Just as I feel pretty good about my theory about who Enman is, but yeah, I'm probably not going to do a whole video on that. I think probably I'll just bring it up at some point, but we'll see.
Who are the exiles?
They were once the source of your despair. Of course, you also became their nightmare.
Okay, so that would reinforce that it was the adversaries in that previous conflict who were cast away, right? And apparently cast into the ether side. And I think that little cinematic sequence or that little cutscene explicitly states that they were cast into the ether side.
The very few Terrans who witnessed the exiles call them Koakaret Matayo.
I wonder what language they used. Like, did they make that up completely, or is that like some obscure language? Like, did they find some indigenous language in some obscure part of the world and choose to use it for that translation of the Foundation, or for some other translation? Because it certainly didn't, to be clear, I'm not a Mandarin linguist, but that certainly didn't sound like Chinese. I don't know what that was meant to be, but they do us the favor of translating that down here on the text, and we see it's the Foundation.
The Foundation. The force that backs the likes of you.
See? You still understand this tongue.
So that was like a very deliberate usage of language there, right?
Come with me. Return to the place neath the Aurora's crown, the origin of all life. There lies the truth you seek.
Okay, and this is a specific place on Talos 2, right? It's up by the North Pole.
Once we return, my life is yours to dispose, however you wish.
So this is really interesting here. Enman doesn't say anything. The first thing we hear is Perlica calling out for Enman. And I wonder if that's meant to imply that Enman is considering this offer when Perlica disrupts her chain of thought.
I will find you.
This also, Perlica's still searching for us, and that being a jarring thing for us, brings me back to something Ardashir said before we were in this little chamber with the flowers, when we were going up the spiral. When he comments how few have stayed loyal to us. And that's an interesting comment for me, because we have an entire spaceship of people who stayed loyal to us and waited for us to come out and stuff. But he's portraying that as a very few compared to, you know, the people who once followed us or whatever, which would make sense. Remember, we commanded like an entire war before, and we don't have armies that are still loyal to us or still that were waiting for our return. Instead, we just had this handful of folks, M3 and Perlica and the eel lady down in the hub down there, and the owl, a few other folks. So maybe it is relatively few people compared to the number of people who once followed us or doted on us or owed us their allegiance, or however you perceive that.
I refuse.
All right then. Even without memories, your judgment remains unclouded by an alluring offer.
That is a very interesting phrase to me, because the way it's written seems to imply that Ardashir is aware of the fact that the offer is, I don't want to say it's a bad offer. I don't think we're meant to perceive it as that. I don't think that's the way we're meant to perceive Ardashir. It's an offer inconsistent with what the Endman is. He tried to bend the Endman to his goals, and the Endman refused, and he is not surprised. That's the way I perceive that. Judgment remains unclouded by an alluring offer. He offered something desirable under the belief that that accepting it would be inconsistent with who Endman is, and in spite of the fact that Endman has forgotten so much of who she is, her decision-making remains the same. Her declining that offer is consistent with the Endman he knew before. Not that it was an evil offer, it was one that the Endman he previously knew would have also declined.
If my words caused you grief, then I shall apologize.
And I take that at face value.
Keep this dinar.
This is a really funny sequence here.
The conquered lord whose hoard I acquired escapes my memories, but not the friend who last held it.
Find that super intriguing. I'm curious who that was. And I wonder if it was Emman.
It has always been my favorite dinar.
Okay, so this is the part. So he offers the coin, and then talks about it being his favorite coin. And so what it reminds me of, and I'm not saying this is meant to, I'm not saying this is some kind of ode to No Country for Old Men, but it reminds me of the scene with the quarter in the convenience store in No Country for Old Men. Very, very much so. I don't know if anyone at the studio has ever seen that movie. After all, it's not an American studio, and I don't know that that movie was significant enough that it was, wildly popular in China or Hong Kong or whatever. But for me, like this scene, that's immediately what I thought of, is when he tells him, don't put it in your pocket, you know, then it would be just another quarter, which it is. It like that, and I love that scene. I find it really enjoyable. And this reminded me of that.
Oh, the final lord I served. I beseech thee, change thy ways.
Okay, so was Edmund, is he saying that directly to Edmund? I don't know. I perceive it that way, but I think there's room to interpret it other ways. All of that, and see, they even entitle that achievement after that sentence. All that reinforces my consistent belief throughout the entire time we've known Ardashir that we were not. He doesn't know us as an adversary. He knows us as a compatriot from before. And if he was like our lieutenant previously, and I don't mean like recent previously, but maybe even hundreds of years ago, that would. You know, or you could even go back to the original Arknights. If my theory on the identity of Edmund is correct, that phrase would make sense if he were a reconvener of the original Arknights character. Because then the lord that he originally served would have been that person.
I'm back on the path within the scroll.
Oh, thank heavens.
Sargonian Pasha from the other side of the cosmic gate. Aurora of the north. The final lord he served. Keep hiding your secrets. Once I stop you, I shall reveal the truths myself.
Much like Chen, Edmund is not a rocket surgeon. I don't think he's hiding his secrets. He gave you quite a lot. And yeah, admittedly, there's, you know, there's still a lot of vagaries there, but I don't think he's being incredibly cagey. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, and we meet again.
Made it in time!
I said I'd find you.
You ready for the attack?
I have foreseen this possibility. Apologies, Endmen.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We actually have to protect the heart. I'm over here just whacking on the big guy, but there's actually a goal, which is, and that's why they're super squishy, right? Which I'd also forgotten about.
Bring it on. You're fighting me.
Leave it to
Alright, so we want to protect the heart from... Now, I don't know, to be fair. I have no indication here that the heart has like some kind of health pool, and that, you know, it's incredibly important for us to you know, keep that health pool from running down or something like that. On the contrary, like I don't believe that's the case. But if we're playing this, you know, immersively, then that should be our motivation, right? Is to protect the Fairmood heart. Oh no, two groups.
Focus on the enemy's positions. Ignoring. Stay in formation.
As always, I got your six.
Outstanding technique. Impressive. within estimates.
End the fight quickly! Ardashir is the source of this chaos.
My power is yours. No escape.
Defenses of the Farenmut's heart are weakening. Don't let them get closer.
No escape from it.
Working on it, Chen. Oh no!
We gotta get them away from the heart.
I keep bumping the Q button. There we go. Back the way it was supposed to be. Back on Inman.
Show me your true self. Once more.
This ends here! Your body!
You must not fall here. Sorry. I must disobey your orders! Protect Wuling and men.
You have chosen unwisely.
Your opponent is me.
What just happened?
That's her trump card? Trapping herself with Ardashir? Does she think playing the hero is cool?
I mean, it's kind of cool, Chen.
We have to help her.
But we can't use the Farenmut's power. How could we... the proxy?
Enman, did the proxy tell you something?
It told me flap, flap, butterfly wings.
I only felt a gentle calm washing over me.
Not helpful, Edmund.
This has always been her power. Perhaps she knows a way.
But we can't just wait around.
Actually, Chen, I have a factory to build. So you're gonna have to wait around.
Endman, is the operation a success? Depth readings at the marker stone are reverting to nominal levels.
Depth readings being like the measurement of the blight, right?
Do we have confirmed elimination of the target?
He is indeed contained, but
but Lee got herself trapped with him inside the scroll.
So she chose that option anyway. I know Arcane's powers. Chen, I believe she'll last till the Sway regulator interferes. Wuling City will do anything it can to help.
I know. She paid a heavy price for this. We can't waste the time she bought for all of us. Qianshu Zhuang, we can't just leave the Marker Stone in its damaged state. Is there anything we can do?
Energy dissipation is far higher than expected. The damaged Farenmut's heart can no longer keep the Marker Stone working properly.
So, we start repairing the Farenmut's heart at once.
Endman, I know it is cruel to make you leave Arcane on her own for now. Good. Given our urgency, Tianshi Ximo shall offer you support for now.
You're back. I heard from Qianshu Zhuang about what happened in there, and to Arcane. Don't worry. She actually has the power to back up her tough talk. She'll be all right.
Let's hope so.
Now, Endman. We actually have several proposals for improving the Farenmut's heart, but we need heavy Shirenite to make them happen.
If only there were a way of making heavy Shirenite. I mean, heavy Shirenite?
The formula has been synced with you.
Oh, thanks.
We have a site nearby that's perfect for AIC factory deployment. I'll wait for you there.
Tianxia Shimo, have you met the two brothers from Qingbo Stockade?
They claim to have descended from Tianshu. I only saw a pair of idiots.
Man, racist.
But I found a place for them. They're not guilty of major crimes, so nothing's gonna happen to them. Oh, I also found their secret tunnel. Can't believe they dug it right under our noses. Feel free to talk to them when you have time. Now, let's focus on actual work.
Better go to that empty plot in the restricted area to deploy the AIC factory.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I find that to be very, very silly that, like, we get Enmin inner monologue. Like, they just as easily could have had her turn to Perlica and say that. I don't know why they elected for it to be inner monologue. It's very funny to me. In no way does it take away from the story. I don't have a problem with it. I just find it to be a very humorous choice. Oh, hi, rabbit guy. Yes, I am here. Oh, good. More stock redistribution. So this is actually quite nice because it makes more things accessible to us through this, little store construct that they've created within the game. So it's really not so much about like our development level or anything like that as it is just getting more things accessible here within the store. Like, look, right there. We can get another pull. And also, in fact, I think it adds... Does it add something? Yeah, it adds the Zironite filter core. Zironite filter cores. To the... Which, today, it's the cheapest thing. But I only have the 30 that I got from just upgrading this. And actually, I think we can upgrade it, what, like 2 more times? Once or twice? I don't know. We'll see. That was a costly upgrade. So interesting, when it comes to currency, I find myself doing a weird thing lately. Is that it for upgrades, or can we do one more? I think that's it, actually. Yeah, that's it for now. And we can get one more of these, which still leaves us short of 10. I find myself increasingly, and it's somewhat reflected here, although recently I did sell some, buying... Oh, these are 61% down. Well, we'll buy the 60 that we can buy, because that's a good deal. Increasingly find myself buying these things and then not selling them because it's kind of an annoyance to go through the process of finding, like, the friend who has the best rate on them and so forth. So I almost treat it just like a savings. On my main account, this is super exaggerated, where you'll see, like, on the Valley 4 side, you'll see where I own several thousand of a number of different things, and I'm just sitting on it, and I assume at some point, thus far, they've not really done much when it comes to upgrading what's available here, right? Like, might as well drop money on that right now. And yeah, if I were more active in this account, I would have bought a lot more of the engraving permits. And truthfully, how many of these? 1.8 mil. Yeah, might as well. All right, that's probably all we should spend for right now. Once you have most of this stuff and you don't know what to do with your money, I just find it like just stashing this away, because I have no point in selling it. I already am good on currency. So then I just sit on it just in case one day I need like a sudden influx of currency, and then wham, it's immediately accessible to me. And that's how I've started treating it, as more of a form of savings than a form of revenue generation. I doubt that I'm the only player that's at that point right now. I think pretty much everyone who's like level 60 on their account level probably is at the point where they're doing that.
This must be the place Tianshi mentioned.
More inner dialogue. Well, let's do the thing, Edmund. Oh, here he is.
Here it is.
All yours, Endman.
Okie dokie. It's a shame we didn't get a box rocketing down from space.
The AIC factory will now let us begin work on repairing the Farenmut's heart.
Good, yay.
Our research center has synced the blueprint to De Jong. Check your terminal, it should be ready. I'll look after this place for you. Everything must give way to your mission of repairing the Farenmut's heart.
Much appreciated, Tianshi.
You have full command over the Marker Stone area. Your command takes top priority. I've contacted Ge Ipu. He'll be working with you afterwards.
Alright, well, we'll watch for Ge Ipu. Did I pronounce that correctly? Who can say? Who can say? Yep. Click here to return, but I don't want to actually return. Oh, we got some acid over here. That's good. Yep. Alright. None of that's relevant to the story. That's why I blow through it. Okay, so. Very weird name for this particular region of the factory. It's the Cardiac Remediation Station, which makes sense in the sense it's, fixing the heart is essentially what that means. But it's a very weird way to, like, I don't know, cardiac remediate. Like, I feel like this is like some kind of hospital over here or something. Alright. So, I think probably what we are going to do is wrap this video up here, because again, like, these run tremendously long, and we're already at an hour and a half. Yeah, we definitely need to wrap it up. And at level 35, we'll get 3 more pulls. But I think we actually, with some of the others like that we just bought and stuff, we might actually be at 10. And we are. So we'll do a 10 pull real quick, because when I reach 10 on the standard banner, I generally like to pull. What do we got? 5-star.
Well, look who it is. The
It's
legendary
Aviwana.
Administrator.
Why do I...
So on this account, I don't know. I might still be able to use this Aviwana. We'll see. Maybe not. Alright, looks like we can, or they would have offered her here, right?
Originium will carve a path for us.
Wonder how close this brings her. Alright, so there'll still be one more after this. And then we will have maxed Aviwana. Cool, cool. Okay. Let's go ahead and wrap this one up here. Tomorrow we will circle around and do a couple more videos. I don't think 2 more videos will necessarily get us all the way through 1.2. So I'll have to find some time to do probably like 2 more after that. I think there's that much story in 1.2. But we have made some progress, so kind of the thing left hanging for us right now is that Arcane is trapped in the scroll, I guess, with Ardashir. Probably not optimal for poor little Arcane, of whom I am a huge fan. But in the meantime, in order to be able to help her, apparently what we need to do is build out this factory. We need to make it bigger. I believe a couple visits with the little factory guy. Where is he at? There he is, over here, will allow us to do that. Now what we don't need, and then what I need to do is bring my blueprints over from my main account, right? We will need the area expansion completed for that blueprint, because I used the entirety of the area. And I think we need the first... I think we might only need that first expansion. We'll do the second one just in case. And now I actually do maybe want to start selling some of the stuff that I'm sitting on. This should be more than adequate, and I can just drop that entire factory from my main account on here. But of course, in order to be able to do that, I also need to be tapping every available node in Wuling, so that I don't like put myself in a weird situation as far as resources. The good news is nothing on this map, the way I have my current factory set up, does anything related to batteries that I'm using for power generation. I do make more batteries when this map is done, but those aren't batteries that I'm reliant on. I'm manufacturing them exclusively to sell. Because one of the byproducts of working on heavy Zhurnite is going to be zircon, so then you can make like the advanced batteries. Anyway, gonna do all that. It shouldn't take me more than like 30 minutes or so this evening. And we will have all that up and running when we get to tomorrow's story. I don't think you actually have to... You know what we are going to do, though? We're going to come talk to Homeslice real quick. Because I have a hunch when I run near him, it's going to trigger. Oh, it doesn't. Well, we're going to talk to him anyway.
Chen keeps trying to access Soy regulator-only files at the security section. I should stop her, but...
But she's Chen.
It's about Arcane, right?
Probably.
HS will figure out a way to save her.
Calm down, Guy. Let's call him Guy.
Lady people.
No problem, Guy.
Yeah, just on time.
Just on time, Guy.
Terrific news. I have the research center's repair plan, but I require a site survey to complete the details. Enmin, Supervisor Perlica, you just fought a hard battle. Please, rest a while.
Yeah, speaking of Enmin resting, if I hear Enmin Administrator, your body, one more time, I'm going to snap at Perlica. She's adorable, but it is a phrase I don't want to hear again.
We can take care of this place.
Thanks, Guy. I mean, it's real easy to take care of right now. It's empty. But soon it won't be. What you thinking about?
In the end, Arcane went ahead with her own plan and sealed Ardashir.
I mean, in fairness, it worked.
It was her plan from the very beginning of this operation.
She'll be all right.
Oh, Perlica's getting a little bit in her feelings.
I hope so too. Back in the Marker Stone, we temporarily lost contact with each other. Did Ardashir do anything?
You mean like, did he touch me? What are you asking?
Not really. He tried persuading me again, but I refused.
I thought...
It won't happen. But if Arcane stopped his plan to destroy the Marker Stone, Then it's time for Nefereth to take the stage.
Whatever Nefereth is planning, Arcane has shifted the odds in our favor. But Chen...
She's upset about Arcane. Let's go talk to her at the security section.
Boss, his plan has failed.
Then let us begin.
Whoa. So it's exactly what Perlica said, right? Alright, so my whole reason for doing that... Yeah, see, that even finished a chapter. My whole reason for doing that was to... Ooh. But maybe it didn't. I wanted to put the story in a spot where I wouldn't accidentally trigger it by setting up these mining nodes. And I'm not convinced that that's how it currently is. We're going to do something stupid. This video might last forever. We're going to go over there and see if it triggers the story. Okay. I actually feel okay about it. We're this close and it's not triggering. And I don't need to get that close. I just need to come over here. Alright, so we're good. I think. I hope. I hate it when I accidentally trigger story and I'm not recording. That's the whole thing here. We're going to take a chance. We're going to wrap the video here because it's way too long. If God wills it, it will be. Alright. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. We will come back soon. We will continue through the Endfield story. And we will find out now that Ardashir is locked inside of a very long piece of paper with the Electro Technico Queen Arcane. We'll find out what Nefereth has planned. So all that when we come back. But for now, let's get out of here because I'm just going to keep talking if we don't. Thank you, and I will see you again soon.